What a week! What a week! We got a lot to talk about. But welcome back. For those of you joining us who are new, I'm Anne. I don't remember which way I have to point, but Julie is also with me on one of these sides.
It's me. It's me. I'm Julie.
We have our main episode. We will start off with stupid statistics, followed by racing, into soccer, and then we'll round out with radar points. This week you can look forward to an F1 video. We are going to do possibly a live tomorrow reacting to the USMNT roster. And that will be part of our USMNT World Cup series. So, you should definitely leave a like on this video. Drop a comment on something related to this video, whether it's the Coca-Cola 600, the Indy 500, Serie A, Premier League, La Liga, DFB Pokal, any of that stuff. Or if you have any sports you would like us to start watching. I have recently been into motorsports and introduced to motorsports. So if you have anything else you would like us to watch, I saw cricket and I asked for a rundown, but I never got that rundown. So you can also leave that in the comments. But also turn on your post notifications so you can be updated for any of those other videos that are going to be coming out. On top of that, it's the start of season 3 or year 3 for us. We had our 2-year celebration this past week. We are still working on that video for you guys, so don't worry about that. We'll get to that when we get to that. I have been traveling this week, so we couldn't film for it. So without further ado, we'll start with stupid statistics.
Okay, guys, welcome back. So we have stupid statistics. There's not a lot because we have a lot to talk about for everything else. But, I don't know. So, for the first time in history, Spain has rejected every Real Madrid player from their World Cup squad.
Mm-hmm.
Not a surprise.
Huge news. Huge news. They've never not included a Real Madrid player in any of their World Cup squads. And this is the first time that they've ever done it.
And then we have Harry Kane wins the European Golden Boot with 36 goals. Haaland in second with 27 goals, and Mbappe in third with 25 goals.
Patrick Harry made another appearance this weekend.
That's why he's one of my favorites. And then, apparently, USMNT's World Cup roster got leaked.
Yeah, they had this whole thing planned out for tomorrow, Tuesday at 3 p.m. in New York. They're going to do a huge, big reveal, and I'm really hoping that the roster that got leaked is fake, because some of those names, hot take, shouldn't be there.
I guess we'll find out. And then we have the 40-year-old Neuer, or Manuel Neuer, is coming out of international retirement to play in the upcoming World Cup for Germany.
Yeah, which
Germany
is
just
huge.
won a good player.
Yeah, they did. And not only that, but they're also bringing Neuer's backup, Jonas Erbig, to their camps as a training goalkeeper, which will be pretty interesting to see. I believe the other ones are, I don't know if the second one is correct, but I know Alexander Nubel is supposed to be one of the ones going as well, which
Isn't Jamal Musiala playing for Germany too?
Yep. But the goalkeepers are a big talking point for Germany because the one guy who used to play for them, Marc-Andre ter Stegen, he used to play for Barcelona, but then he got into some kind of trouble and pretty much made an ultimatum, if you include Neuer in this upcoming squad, I'm no longer taking part of this. And obviously they chose Neuer. This was a couple years ago, and so he was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So it's not great, but Oliver Baumann is the second choice here. So he's Hoffenheim's goalie. I think he had a good season from what I've heard. So
Germany's pretty stacked right now.
Mm-hmm.
Guess we'll see what happens. And then McLaren remains the F1 team that has completed the fewest number of laps so far this season. Even Aston Martin has more. I am channeling all my frustration for the F1 video. So guys, if you want to see that, keep a lookout for it. And then we have Catherine, I think it's leg. I'm going to go with that. Has completed more total laps in her double attempt than either of Kyle Larson's attempts. Honestly, iconic of her. Could care about Kyle Larson anyways, so.
Sorry, my mic died.
I figured something happened.
Yeah, well, what does that say about Kyle Larson, you know?
Anyways, speaking of Kyle, we had a moment of silence for Kyle Busch. This was a sad weekend for a lot of people. But they did really good. They had a dedication to him on the 8th lap. So that was sweet. But I will say, I like him more than Bubba Wallace. Well, I liked him more than Bubba Wallace. So. Right.
Anyway.
Or Denny Hamlin. But moving on. Speaking of racing, now to racing.
So we had the Indy 500, the greatest spectacle of racing this week. We went over our qualifying last week, so you can feel free to go check that out. That will be up here in this corner. So, the race results, my goodness. Guys, I would do a race recap, however, you don't really need it. The key points is that, around lap 130, there was a split in strategy. We had a couple cars decide that they were going to come in and do new tires and fuel. So this put them on a fuel-saving strategy, whereas the other cars did not have to do a fuel-saving strategy because they were on a 2-stop, but this group of cars were then on a 1-stop to finish out the race. One of those drivers is our dear driver, Pato O'Ward. Ooh.
When I say it wasn't a good weekend for us.
It wasn't. It really wasn't a good weekend for us.
What was it?
This set of pit stops had him going P1, right? So we're P1. And then it's I don't know, 15 laps left. Not even. Felix Rosenquist makes the pass on us. And then it gets red flagged due to rain, I believe. It was just getting a little bit too wet on the track. And so they brought the cars in. They stayed in that same order. They run another lap or two, and then they have to red flag it again. And then at this point, we are sitting at P4. Marcus Armstrong is the one leading behind David Malukas. Well, and behind him is David Malukas. And then I believe it's Rosie and then Pato. And going into the last few laps. We're fighting. We don't get a good enough run out of the last turn. It comes down to the line. And it's Rosenquist against Malukas, and Rosie wins, so I'm happy for Felix. I saw some really cute pictures of him and his daughter celebrating, so that was nice. Not great for David Malukas. Not great for, and then the third place battle, it was Scott McLaughlin, Pato, and Marcus Armstrong, and that was tight. Julie, you'll have to put a picture here. I'll send it to you. But it was like a matter of inches between the three finishing for third. It was
It
nice.
was like the race between, it was the cars race. Like, if you guys know what I'm talking about, like, you know, like the tongue sticking out, Lightning McQueen kind of race. And if you've seen that all over Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, like, it's literally like that scene happening again, which was iconic but insane at the same time.
Right.
So, insert picture dynamic here.
So our winner obviously was Felix Rosenquist, David Malukas in second, Scott McLaughlin in third with the Thirsty Threes, Pato O'Ward in fourth, Marcus Armstrong in fifth, Renus VK in sixth, Alex Clow in seventh, Santino Ferrucci in eighth, Roman Grosjean in ninth, and Takuma Sato in 10th. Our DNFs were Ryan Hunter-Ray, Catherine Legg, Ed Carpenter, Alex Rossi, Joseph Newgarden, Christian Rasmussen, Cal Collette, and Helio Castroneves. So, our standings, Alex Palou is still in first with 273 points. David Malukas jumps up into second over Kyle Kirkwood. Malukas has 236 points. Kirkwood has 224 points. Christian Lundgaard still sits in fourth with 195 points. Pato O'Ward, Scott McLaughlin, and Felix Rosenquist all jump up over Joseph Newgarden and Scott Dixon. O'Ward has 188 points, McLaughlin 181, and Rosenquist 176. Newgarden and Dixon are tied with 167 points, and Marcus Armstrong has our last top 10 spot with 154 points. So our next race for IndyCar will be the Detroit Grand Prix, and that will be next Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Last year's winner was Kyle Kirkwood. I do think he could definitely repeat, seeing as Detroit is a street course. Santino Ferrucci was in second, and Colton Herta was in third. So, now we'll jump over to NASCAR.
Guys, we were up till like 1 in the morning, basically, watching this race. It started at 6 in the afternoon. We had just literally finished the F1 race. So, if you guys watched the F1 race, just imagine like what we were already feeling going into this. But it was the Coca-Cola 600. It was also their Memorial Day kind of program they do, which was really good. And it was also Kyle Busch's memorial as well. Really good scenery. They did really good supporting Busch's family throughout the whole thing. But now to the race. Okay, so our stage 1 winner was Kyle Larson. Our stage 2 winner was Denny Hamlin, and our stage 3 winner was, I think, Christopher Bell. Our race winner was Daniel Suarez, which honestly, after the race, I'm happy he won. As long as it wasn't Denny Hamlin. I was kind of rooting for Christopher Bell, but I was fine with either one, honestly, at the end. Our top 10, we had Bell in second, Hamlin in third, Reddick in fourth, Larson in fifth, Gibbs in sixth, Blaney in seventh, Logano and Byron in ninth, and Z Smith in 10th. To say is my driver, you guys know, is Carson Hocevar, and all I can say If you listen to his radios, you know exactly how he felt about the race. But he just kept getting done dirty. Like, he would have like a horrible he had a good start. And then he just went down. Like, he was having issues. They fixed him up. He went from like 33rd to like 28 up to like even like 10th. He even at some point made it to first, and then he had issues and had to go right back in. And all I have to say was, what was that 29-second pit stop? 29-second pit stop. That was horrible. Horrible.
Yeah, well, if they hadn't fumbled that pit stop, they would have been in the running to win. That's just my hot take.
Yeah, and then there was a lot of issues with the rain towards the end of the race. We didn't even finish the 400 laps. I think we ended at like 300 and like 60 something, maybe 70. They ended up having to stop about halfway between that last 100 laps and have them sit and wait, which was pointless. They honestly should have just, if anything, just ended it there. But I'm glad they let them run just a little bit longer to give them time. Maybe someone could improve. But like, the rain started pouring, and then they had them all park, and then they just announced that Daniel Suarez kind of won. But we did have a yellow out for stage caution, plus there was wrecks. Towards the end, there was lightning. We kept having a ton of cautions, which was just irritating me, because I'm like, oh, not again. But like, I get it, I do, because like, lightning, rain, it is something we need to be cautious
Yeah,
about.
the
But also
safety.
like, I feel like everyone was just like over it at that point. We had a red, like I was saying, then it went back to a yellow, then back to a green, just for it to end on another red. And it was just like, it was chaotic towards the end. But what a race, let's just say that. I don't even know how else to talk about it, because it was just so chaotic. And I just remember I was texting him the whole time, like, what in the world? What in the world? And then like, our two racers, because we like Byron, we like Carson, and they just kept having like issues. And I'm honestly impressed that Byron made it up to the top 10, honestly, because he was having a rough. Even like the commentators were like, he was having a rough start, and they were
Yeah,
impressed.
they said that he spent like 100, almost like 150 laps down a lap.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also that, just
How
down
he
a lap.
ended on the lead lap is beyond me. I don't know how that happened.
I'm still pretty shocked that we made it that far. Hoping for a better race next race. But the standing, oh, here are our DNFs before I forget. Zilish was a DNF, Cindric was a DNF, Elliott was a DNF, Hill was a DNF, Chastain, Briscoe, Priest, and Dylan were all DNFs, basically. But here are the standings before my mouse isn't working and I can't see. Guys, the standings. Okay, we still have Reddick in first with 620, Hamlin in second with 498 points, Blaney moves up with 446, Gibbs moves up with 425, Elliott moves down with 423, Larson moves up with 386, Busher, I always say his name
Busher.
wrong. Busher, thank you. It doesn't look like it should be Bush, and that's what freaks me out. He has 385. Bell moves up with 361. Kosovar moves down with 342, and Suarez moves up with 350. Our next race is the Cracker Barrel 400. It's Sunday, May 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's gonna be a long one. Last year's race winner was Ryan Blaney. The podium did have Hocevar and Hamlin. Maybe we
We'd
can
be
have
looking
another.
at a Hocevar win this weekend.
Fingers crossed. But that is NASCAR. Now to soccer. And I guess I usually do Syria. Am I still doing
You
it?
don't have to. I'll do.
Okay, cool. It's really up to
Okay,
you. I don't care.
so for soccer, this was the last weekend across the leagues, minus the Bundesliga, which we covered last weekend. You could probably go do your laundry while I'm doing this.
Honestly, peace out, guys. I'll be back.
Just doing that. So starting off, Well, yeah, so we're just recapping how the rest of the leagues played out last match day for Serie A, Premier League, La Liga. Bundesliga was last weekend. However, we can talk about the DFB Pokal, so that's what we will be doing. So, kickstarting with Serie A, we have Inter Milan tie Bologna 3-3, Juventus tied Torino 2-2, Lazio beat Pisa 2-1, Atalanta tie Fiorentina 1-1, AC Milan lose to Cagliari 2-1, Napoli beat 10 men Udinese 1-0. So, as we have said previously, Inter Milan have the Serie A title. They have 87 points. Napoli, Roma, and Como all have the other Champions League spots for Serie A. Napoli has 76 points, Roma 73, and Como 71. AC Milan and Juventus will be in the Europa League this upcoming season with 70 and 69 points. Roma and Como actually jump up over AC Milan with their loss. So had they even tied, I believe, they could have been in AC Milan could have been in the Champions League, but that didn't happen. And then Atalanta have the Europa Conference spot with 59 points. So we'll move on to the Premier League, where Liverpool tie Brentford 1-1, Man United beat Brighton 3-0, Arsenal beat Palace 2-1, Man City lose to Aston Villa 2-1, 10-men Chelsea 10-men Chelsea lose to Sunderland 2-1. They had a red card in the 61st minute, and that was to Fofana, which is Chelsea's right back. And this was just a yellow card accumulation. He had already gotten a yellow previously in the game, so this was his second yellow, and that resulted in a red. So Arsenal won the Premier League after one of the results last week because I believe City lost. Or they tied. I'm not quite sure. But Arsenal have 85 points, Man City with 78, Man United with 71, Aston Villa with 65, and Liverpool with 60. All of those teams are in the Champions League for this next season. Bournemouth and Sunderland will be in the Europa League. Bournemouth has 57 points, Sunderland has 54. And Brighton will have the Europa Conference spot with 53 points, and Sunderland jump up over Brighton this past week with their result in Brighton losing. And the Premier League gets 8 European spots because of the coefficients with the other teams. I believe that they nicked one off of the Bundesliga, if I'm correct. Or, they probably nicked one off of La Liga, if I'm being honest and looking at our notes here. So, La Liga. We have Barcelona losing to Valencia 3-1, but that's okay because they have already clinched their league title. Real Madrid beat Athletic Club 4-2, and Atletico lose to Villarreal 5-1, which is a huge result for Villarreal because this solidifies them in third place for La Liga with 72 points. Real Madrid in second with 86. Barcelona again atop with 94, and Atletico in fourth with 69 points. This result was huge for Villarreal. Had they tied, I believe Atletico might have had a better goal differential, which could have bumped Atletico to third, but this will hurt Atletico in the Champions League and their draw that will be for next season and where they end up and who they could potentially face. Real Betis also has a Champions League spot. They are in 5th for La Liga, and they have 60 points. Celta will be in the Europa League, and they have 54 points, so they are in 6th place. 7th place belongs to Levante, and they have 51 points, and they will be in the Europa Conference. So now there's another team in La Liga that actually get a European spot. That will be Real Sociedad, and they will be joining the Europa League after they won the Copa del Rey over Atletico Madrid earlier this season. Fun time. But now, well, Bundesliga. Except we're not talking about the Bundesliga, we're talking about the DFB Pokal. So we played Stuttgart, Bayern played Stuttgart, and Bayern won the league title, and Stuttgart won the DFB. Well, they were the other semi-finalist to advance to the finals. So since Bayern win the league title and the DFB Pokal, we will play Dortmund in the Beckenbauer Cup to start off the season. Sorry, I was trying to think of what it was called.
I was like, I don't know. You lost me.
So we will be playing Dortmund rather than Stuttgart. Had Stuttgart won this, Bayern would have been playing Stuttgart to start off the season. But that's not the case. So Bayern win the DFB Pokal. We win 3-0. We had our goals all scored by none other than hat-trick Harry Kane. He scored in the 54th, 79th, and 90 plus 1 minutes. We had 6 shots on target, 13 shots total, 64% of possession, and no corners, which is shocking for us. I do want to say, I want to give a big hats off to Stuttgart because they really did threaten us throughout majority of the game, and you could just tell that they were getting tired throughout, and that's kind of led to us being able to score these goals. So, but I was impressed with how Stuttgart played. I wasn't expecting them to come out and play how they did, but it doesn't matter because we won. But now we'll move over to radar points.
Okay, guys. So last week's radar points for me was the Canadian Grand Prix. Again, guys, keep a lookout for it because we have a lot to talk about. Ames was Arsenal versus Palace, City versus Aston Villa, and then the Indy 500. Guys, you guys know how those went, so I'm not going to talk further. But this week, I have the Cracker Barrel
400.
It's all, yeah, thank you. I panicked and wrote this Cracker Barrel. Thank you. I live in M can tell you.
Yeah, I have the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix. That will be at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That will be on Sunday. We also have the Champions League final this week. I know I said it was last week. Well, I lied. It's this week. It'll be on Saturday. I don't think that time is correct. So give me 1 second. Yeah, good thing I double checked that. That will be Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll have to see. And I have news on that. So Griezmann, Dembele, and Hakimi are both supposedly going to be out of that game, and that's huge. A huge loss for PSG. I think that it kind of shifts it to Arsenal. But we'll have to see how the teams, who's starting, and the formation, and it will be a huge thing. It still should have been Bayern, but whatever.
But that is our radar points. Let us know in the comments your radar points or something you're excited for us to watch, or let us know something we should watch. Don't forget to like this video because it means a lot to us. And don't forget to subscribe because we love seeing new faces. And again, comment. We like seeing what you guys suggest or your comments on what we talk about, or even telling us to try something new for once. And trying to convince us to like your team, even though that's usually not gonna work. But don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you don't miss any of our other videos. Guys, it's been a weekend. And then check out our links in the description below for our other social media pages. Again, we might be live streaming tomorrow. So if you don't want to miss that, go follow our social media pages so you don't miss out when we'll be doing that. Because we do post the time. It might say 9:30ish. It might say 8:30ish. The ish is important because we're never on time completely. So if you don't want to miss that, again, don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on your post notifications. But I hope you guys like this video.